Is Captain Amarinder Singh all set to quit the Congress party? That after facing extreme humiliation and has already resigned as the Chief Minister. Now, according to reports, Captain Amarinder Singh says that he is not joining the Bharatiya Janata Party, but will be leaving the Congress party, and that the Congress party is going downhill. This could be massive. Remember, in just next 5 months, Punjab will be facing elections. What happens to the party when its most prominent face leaves? Amit Shah tracking all the latest on this. What is the probability of Captain Amarinder Singh leaving the party? He's already met Home Minister Amit Shah and is likely to meet Prime Minister Modi as well.
Well, as far as Captain Amarinder Singh is concerned, he is, of course, currently, exploring his options. But as far as his disgruntlement with the Congress party goes, he has been pretty vocal about it. The last time when he was in fact asked to demit office as the Chief Minister of Punjab, he did say that he felt very humiliated. Of course, at that point of time, he did say that he continues to remain in the Congress party. But now when speaking with the media, he says that he will not stay with the Congress party. That is something that he has in fact firmed his mind up about, that he is not going to leave the Congress, that he's not going to in fact continue with the Congress party. So that is going to be a huge blow for the Congress party, because while of course the writ of the new PCC chief, and who has of course resigned, Navjot Singh Sidhu, and that of then anointed Chief Minister Charanjit Singh Channi is concerned, that seems to be now larger in the Congress party as opposed to that of Captain Amarinder Singh. But Captain Amarinder Singh does come with his share of loyalists and those who firmly stand behind him and have supported him through this entire crisis within the Punjab Congress, which includes of course at least a couple of dozen MLAs, and then of course when you start looking at the party leadership at the various district level, Panchayat level as well. It remains to be seen how much damage can Captain Amarinder Singh do to the Congress
are
party.
We looking at, yes, a possible meeting between Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Captain Amarinder Singh, because that is going to be the highlight of the day if and when that happens.
Well, Pooja, there is no confirmation of that as of yet. We do know that he's met with the Union Home Minister and he's met with the National Security Advisor, who was in fact here at the Home Minister's residence after his meeting with Captain Amarinder Singh. He's just left from the residence of the Home Minister. But as far as any further meetings are concerned in Delhi, there is absolutely no confirmation of the same. It remains to be seen, how Captain Amarinder Singh goes around in terms of exploring avenues for himself for the future. Can floating a new party be an option? Again, many say age is not on his side. This requires a lot of toiling and a lot of work on the ground, and he has not got that in terms of age being on his side to float a new party. Could, of course, joining the Bharatiya Janata Party be an option? It is an option. He may deny it at present, but he cannot deny the fact that he's definitely exploring that option.
And he's definitely at least posturing that he is friendly, so to say, with the top leadership and at the government side as well. Paulami, please stay on with me, because there is buzz that Captain Amarinder Singh may meet Prime Minister Narendra Modi. He has already met National Security Advisor Ajit Doval in Delhi. Captain Amarinder Singh has already met Home Minister Amit Shah yesterday, and then followed by the meeting with Doval at 5 Janpath. Remember all of this when he raised the crucial national security issues, and is likely to have briefed the National Security Advisor on border security in the Punjab state, which is of course bordering Pakistan. Captain Doval went to meet Amit Shah. Captain is likely to meet PM today. All of this, there could be discussion of farm laws, farmers' agitation, at least what is we are being told on agenda. Amarinder's meeting with Home Minister Amit Shah also focused on farmers' agitation. Captain has urged the Home Minister to repeal farm laws. That has been one of the main bone of contention for Punjab-based farmers who have been squatting now at the Delhi-Haryana border for the longest time now. Also requesting to guarantee the minimum support price for farmers. Sources have also indicated there could be a second round of meeting between the two. All of this when Captain says he feels humiliated and the BJP willing to woo him, calling him even a nationalist today. Paulami Saha continues to be with us. Paulami, I can see some heightened activity where you are. Yes, over to you.
Well, Pooja, we do know that the National Security Advisor, in fact, just left a short while ago from Mr. Amit Shah's residence. He was here since 11:30 a.m. this morning after his morning meeting with Captain Amarinder Singh.
Paulami, I will just interrupt you there for just a second, because we are getting these latest visuals from Punjab, and we are being told that this is Chief Minister Charanjit Singh Channi, who is now leaving, likely for Punjab Southern, because that's where Sidhu says I will be, and if someone wants to come meet me, can come there. And while, remember, Paulami is in Delhi telling us about all the meetings with former Chief Minister Captain Amarinder Singh, meeting Home Minister, National Security Advisor. Now you have in Punjab the incumbent Chief Minister heading possibly to meet Navjot Singh Sidhu. And while we stay with these visuals, yes, Paulami, go on, because we are staying with the visuals of Punjab, and this is absolutely interesting. On one hand, we have Captain Amarinder Singh meeting the top leadership of the BJP, including the Home Minister and National Security Advisor. That is the government meeting, so to say, on farmers' laws. On another, we have Chief Minister Channi trying to resolve the crisis in Punjab.
Well, Pooja, in fact, you know, what is happening in Punjab at the moment, of course, like you said, Chief Minister Channi is on his way to Punjab Bhavan in Chandigarh in order to meet with Navjot Singh Sidhu, who's on his way to Chandigarh from Patiala for that 3 p.m. meeting on the invitation of the Chief Minister of Punjab. That might have implications here in Delhi, simply because the fact that, you know, what it demonstrates, what's happening in Punjab as we speak, what it demonstrates is that the Congress party is still trying to placate Navjot Singh Sidhu, is trying to assuage some of his concerns and probably keep him back in his position from which he resigned, which is the PCC chief of Punjab. As far as that is concerned, probably Captain and his team over here, his supporters, they probably see it as, you know, the continuance of Navjot Singh Sidhu in the Congress party. So while Captain may have had his I told you so moment just a couple of days ago when Navjot Singh Sidhu quit as the PCC chief, he probably thinks that what is happening in Punjab right now seems to suggest that Sidhu is going to stay on. So his concerns, his worries, his grudges with the party, they continue, and hence probably he's coming out and quite vocally, even before having conveyed it to the party leadership or even to the Punjab in charge Harish Rawat, it appears, he's speaking with the media and he's telling them that I will not remain in the Congress party.
Paulami, yes, Paulami, stay on with me. Paulami is telling us all about the national capital Delhi, one where Captain Amarinder Singh is meeting Home Minister, likely to meet Prime Minister, may just leave the Congress and who knows join the BJP. On another side, let's now cut across to Punjab, because Mausami Singh is there in Chandigarh. Mausami, so Chief Minister Channi, is he arriving at the Punjab Southern? Because when a Chief Minister comes to meet Navjot Singh Sidhu, who till now was the PCC chief, only showing who perhaps has, if not a clout, at least a very inflated ego, that a Chief Minister has to come and resolve the crisis. Mausami, can you hear me?
Yes, Pooja, of course, and a very pertinent point you have flagged, you know, because if you look at the tweet of Navjot Singh Sidhu, you look at the language, and we've just seen these visuals of Punjab Chief Minister actually leaving his residence. So probably he would be arriving at Punjab Bhavan any moment. The protocols are in place, and this is a time when Navjot Singh Sidhu hasn't even arrived. So as a matter of fact, we have learned from our sources that the party high command did tell the Punjab Chief Minister to not bend backwards and go to Patiala to persuade Navjot Singh Sidhu. And even Harish Chaudhary, who is the emissary of the Gandhis here, has been camping in Chandigarh. So Navjot Singh Sidhu, when he takes that journey from Patiala to Chandigarh, would have many things in mind. But of course, it would have more concerns for the Congress party, a lot of concerns for the Punjab's Chief Minister, because even as he says that he is not an egoistic man, he knows that there is a terrible ego clash that has unfolded after his taking that post. So we'll have to wait and see whether he can assuage the feelings of Navjot Singh Sidhu, who seems to be extremely temperamental.
Mausami, because I want to stay with you, what precisely are you expecting to happen? even if Chief Minister Channi comes, it is very unlikely that he has any position or authority to take the decisions that Navjot Singh Sidhu wants, because all of it eventually will have an approval of the Gandhis, and that has been given to Navjot Singh Sidhu. So this is now between an incumbent Chief Minister and a man who has just resigned after being given that power as PCC Chief. Where do you see the meeting really going now?
You know, as a matter of fact, Pooja, if you look at the visuals that unfolded after Charanjit Singh Channi was announced and even before he took oath, the visuals spoke a lot about the equation that the two shared, and also it also displayed the power play, because remember that before Charanjit Singh Channi was announced as the Chief Minister, he was a colleague of Navjot Singh Sidhu, and things changed pretty fast. The Punjab Chief Minister has a certain protocol. There are certain ways that need to be followed because he's carrying that title, that designation, and many in the Congress circles felt that Navjot Singh Sidhu's way of talking to him or addressing him or being present with him in the gathering was a little uneasy, and that's where, you know, it all started, because somewhere Navjot Singh Sidhu, who's got a celebrity status, who's used to being in the limelight, felt sidelined. Now we will have to wait and see that the sticking points were about the AG, about the DJP, about a certain cabinet, about a certain minister being included in the ranks of the cabinet. We will have to wait and see how Charanjit Singh Channi, who's been entrusted with the responsibility by the party high command, who's looking at looking at Captain Amarinder Singh, how he has fallen apart with the party high command, who's looking at Navjot Singh Sidhu, who's defied the party high command and broken their trust. Now it is time for Charanjit Singh Channi to deliver. There are huge expectations from him as far as, you know, keeping the flock together are concerned, and the party high command would be looking at him very closely if he's able to get Navjot Singh Sidhu glued on and keep the Congress cohesively attached to each other. His stature will in fact increase manifold, Pooja.
Stay on with this, Mosmi, because Mosmi is in Chandigarh. She's tracking all the latest and telling us what precisely will happen and how much Chief Minister Channi can really help resolve the crisis. Because Navjot Singh Sidhu, remember, already has broken his silence. He put out a video on social media. That after he resigned as the PCC president. In that message, Sidhu has vowed that I will keep fighting for truth. He then also adds on that this fight has always been issue-based, was never about position or personal agenda. Why has Sidhu said that? What precisely did he say? And then all that followed. Listen in.
लड़ाई मुद्दों दी है, मसलियां दी है और पंजाब पक्षी एक एजेंडे दी है। आज तक किसी नाल कोई निजी किड़ नहीं रही, ना ही मैं निजी लड़ाइयां लड़ियां। दागी लीडरां ते दागी अफसरां दा सिस्टम तां भन्निया सी, दोबारा उन्हां नूं लिया के उही सिस्टम खड़ा नहीं कीता जा सकदा। मैं इहदा विरोध करदा।
20 hours after bowling the resignation googly, Navjot Singh Sidhu has broken his silence on exactly why he chose to call it quits as Punjab Congress chief.
उसूलों पे आँच आए तो टकराना जरूरी और जिंदा हो तो जिंदा नजर आना जरूरी।
In an all-out rant against the Congress, Sidhu said he would always fight for haq and sach, for rights and for the truth.
ये मेरा फर्ज सी, मेरा धर्म सी। ये मेरे प्यो ने एक कोई गल दसी है कि ਜਦੋਂ ਕਿਤੇ ਵੀ द्वंद ਹੋਵੇ सच ਦੀ ਰਾਹ ਤੇ ਤੁਰ ਤੇ ਮੋਰਲ ਅਥਾਰਟੀ ਰੱਖ ਕੇ ਨੈਤਿਕਤਾ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਕੋਈ ਸਮਝੌਤਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਤਾਂ ਹੀ ਆਵਾਜ਼ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਫਲ ਆਏ।
Sidhu indicated that the reason for his resignation was corrupt and tainted officials back at the helm under CM Channi.
दागी लीडरां ਤੇ दागी ਅਫਸਰਾਂ ਦਾ ਸਿਸਟਮ ਤਾਂ ਭੰਨਿਆ ਸੀ, ਦੁਬਾਰਾ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਲਿਆ ਕੇ ਉਹੀ ਸਿਸਟਮ ਖੜਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਕੀਤਾ ਜਾ ਸਕਦਾ। मैं इहदा विरोध करदा।
So has Sidhu resigned because of Chief Minister Channi? The former Punjab Congress chief claims he has no bones to pick with anyone.
मेरी आज तक किसी नाल कोई निजी किड़ नहीं रही, ना ही मैं निजी लड़ाइयां लड़ियां।
Sidhu taking a moral high ground may have made things difficult. Whatever dividends they were looking at in the face of Charanjit Singh Channi as a Dalit face, that seems to be very short-lived.
The Congress High Command has reportedly made it clear that they will not reach out to Sidhu. The Gandhis, who've accommodated every tantrum so far from Sidhu, have not dialed him so far. Party President Sonia Gandhi has reportedly not even received Sidhu's resignation. It was directly posted on social media. So what next for Sidhu? He's still a part of Congress, but will he exit the party next? For now, Sidhu seems to be rallying his aides. Since his resignation, several MLAs and ministers have formed a beeline at Sidhu's Patiala residence, some even trying to convince him to withdraw his resignation.
What is significant is that he is rallying support right here at his Patiala residence. But what is important is whether there will be another googly for the party high command around the corner, or whether Congress is going to be clean bowled. Why another move? For now, Congress wants to avoid a controversy and settle things down ahead of elections, which are just a couple of months away. With camera person Nasir, this is Kamaljit Sandhu in Patiala for India Today.
And Kamaljit Sandhu is also meanwhile tracking Navjot Singh Sidhu. Remember, while he leaves from Patiala, decides to head to Punjab Southern as he had announced. Kamaljit, where have you reached now? Where is Navjot Singh Sidhu? This is just getting bizarre because it is literally a former PCC chief telling the chief minister or anyone, I'm reaching Punjab Southern at 3. Whoever wants to come can come meet me there.
Well, the language itself in the tweet itself was very clear. One, he's taken a high moral ground. The other is he's saying that he's reaching, and perhaps he's not going to reach even by 3 p.m. It's likely to be 3:30. It's because he started quite late. He started moments ago. We are at the highway. So in another few minutes from now, we do expect Sidhu's car to overtake us. We will eventually follow him to Punjab Bhavan. But this obviously looks like two parts. One is rapprochement, whether things could settle down now, and whether Sidhu will come down from his high horse and agree to the terms of the High Command as well as Charanjit Singh Channi. Or will it be the other way around, where Channi, who in the press conference recently mentioned that he's up for discussion, he did call a meeting of both the Advocate General as well as the DGP. Will there be a change of appointments? Because that itself will undermine Charanjit Singh Channi's position as a Chief Minister. Many have already alleged that Navjot Singh Sidhu has tried to flex his muscles, that he wants to be the super CM. Now, there are too many things going wrong for Congress Party, and now is a time where things could settle down. But the way the dust has been thrown up in the air time and again, it doesn't seem to be. And yes, we can hear some sirens really coming in. Possibly in some time from now, we do expect Navjot Singh Sidhu to cruise from here. And yes, the route has almost been there. But remember, he is not even a Punjab Congress chief anymore. So that sort of VVIP treatment may not be accorded to him. But what is important is how equations will really work. He being a Jat Sikh leader and perhaps was in a position to think once there's a change of guard that he would be handpicked to be the chief minister. That has not happened. And for the first time, Punjab gets a Dalit chief minister.
Yes.
Now, it does seem to many who've been watching developments in Punjab that he's trying to undermine the new chief minister. He wants to wield power. And this is where things are not going well as far as Congress Party is concerned. His public resignation has only embarrassed the Congress Party. And that is why they want Sidhu to now fall in line and not to create a further mess. And that is why Amarinder Singh being in Delhi and meeting is another problem area. And now he specified that he will not be joining the BJP because that could be actually a political harassment.
So that is why Navjot Singh Sidhu is leaving, likely for Punjab Southern, where he could meet Chief Minister. What Kamaljit Sandhu is telling us is very pertinent. Remember, this was the first Dalit Chief Minister who actually could have become such a huge development for the Congress Party, but all of that becoming now a mess and a chaos. So that is Sidhu leaving to meet possibly Chief Minister. What happens to Captain Amarinder Singh? Let me take you through some possible scenarios. Now, there's a high probability as of a conjecture right now, he could join forces with the Bharatiya Janata Party in the backdrop of him meeting Prime Minister, Home Minister, NSA, Ajit Doval. Scenario 2. He may float his own party, back the Bharatiya Janata Party, but it is very unlikely if he may be able to float a party so soon before election. Scenario 3, go solo in Punjab elections, but if he does go solo, will he also need support of at least some party to be able to back him? Scenario 4, very unlikely for now, as of now, reconcile and stay in the Congress party, because will he want to stay back and then have all of this chaos around him when the party goes for elections? And he says, I have been already humiliated too much.